Hey guys, Sound Husky here, and welcome to the finale, the final chapter of the Death Masterclass, which is some final thoughts, conclusions, and some little extra things that I might not have put in the miscellaneous tips. So, what is next? After you have finished all these chapters, what's next? Well, it's time to conduct repetition and get yourself a way to start mastering these concepts and putting them into your gameplay. Repetition of what you have learned from these chapters will be key to getting your core foundation and fundamentals with the Deaf School and its identity. Also, when you have finally gotten these down and you are at a max level, if you want, you can start delving into advanced content to further bolster your mastery and also just to get some more of that experience under your belt. Note that this is optional to do this type of content, but it can be a great way to continue mastering it. Okay, so here are some notes on advanced content before you go into it. You will need for experienced groups usually the higher tiered version of your spellments, either rank 4 or fully maxed out, and you need to have fully geared a full proper gear setup to start raiding or doing advanced content, and also have an understanding of the different cheats and such. You can watch guides. There are plenty of those on YouTube to sort of explain what certain raids do, what certain advanced contents are, all that. Try setting up and doing these with people you trust, like friends or people that you have known for a long time that are willing to teach you, or even a guild that is willing to bring on new, fresh people into raids and advanced content to actually get these done. And also, don't be discouraged. Yes, your first run might not seem fun or the best, but that's just because you have not fully gotten into it yet. You're just starting out. You have went from a small little pond to a giant lake, or and you're a small little fish. So you're not going to be, aware of everything that you're getting into. You'll get the hang of it through more runs, or even if you're doing more PvP, you'll understand your matchups better with more matches as you go ahead. So one thing I do want to cover in this conclusionary thing is healthy questing. It's sort of like a daily routine or a nightly routine, like getting up in bed, what you would do. And this is to help you get a repetition going for your questing, side questing, and practicing to better understand Death Identity. So, first, set up a time frame about 3 to 4 hours and set a questing goal. For the first 3.5 hours, focus on that goal, your questing goal, and mixing in side quests when available if you want. And then once you have hit about once you hit that 3.5 hour mark, take 30 minutes to sort of do a cooldown. Cooldown by doing other things that aren't related to questing. Now, if you want to go over the 3 hour, 30 minute mark, you can. And just once you're done with the 4 hour block, just go ahead and reflect. If you reflect on what you did and if you reached that goal or not. If you reached the goal, set a new goal for next time. And then keep repeating this. And again, later or next day after resting, it will prevent burnout. So you can quest. You'll still have enough time to really get good questing time in, but you won't be straining yourself for 5+ hours on a grinding binge. And healthy questing can really take a load off your shoulders if you set a goal and you keep reaching that goal each time you get done with your 4-hour time frame. But don't be afraid to make some over the top goals, like maybe try stretching yourself a little bit. See if you can hit that goal. If you can't, start backing it off. And then once you find a goal that you can keep constantly, a goal that you can hit, set a goal that's similar to that exact same goal, and then just keep going from there with your 4-hour questing time, your questing block, as you will. Because also taking time to have like a little bit of a rest and reflection after a long questioning session can sort of help, you know, help you wind down and sort of, really take in what you may have done throughout your entire questing session, and that can be very helpful at times. Okay, so benefit. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the first obviously reducing burnout, but there's some other benefits that I see very helpful. Is it can really help you build fundamental gameplay loops, being able to better understand how to optimize your time in game and complete your goals at a quicker pace, giving you more time to really focus on other things later down the line. It will give you specific time frames to practice all the things from the different chapters and implement them into a controlled setting for a good amount of time where you can take the information from that questing block to really understand what you were doing without much interference from other people questing with you or other things like that. And of course, lastly, another thing, wanting help after the fact, after you watch the Death Masterclass, feel free to contact me on Discord or join the Discord server to ask for some on-the-spot coaching while questing. You can also send in clips of certain fights during your journey if you can record it, and we can go over them together in a call, or even be featured on like an actual teaching session on the channel. And now we have my conclusionary thoughts here. You now have what you need to build your core foundation to playing the Death School. There are probably other things that you may have questions about, but that's what that last slide was talking about. Come to me with extra questions that you may have, because I am free to answer those. Be sure to practice and experiment as much of what we taught here when you can, and don't be afraid to limit test yourself and maybe almost die in the process while doing so, because this isn't like Overwatch or some other super competitive game where controlling the amount of times you die matters. Now, obviously, in your questing block, if you die, that is a setback to, that's a less time that you have for your goal, but that is some willing trade-offs if it helps you better get your foundation strengthened. And lastly, be free to play the way how you want. You have all the control in the world to play how you want, and be free to continue learning at your own pace and on your own time, as we all learn differently. If you don't maybe you need some help, understanding some of the core things in the chapters we discussed, because you don't really learn through watching, reading this or having me talk to you about it. Sometimes you need to get actually in game and have somebody telling you what it means in game. Like I said, some of us learn faster than others. Some learn, want to learn through, controlled sessions like questing blocks. And some of us just are very good at maintaining information even if we aren't questing in a controlled space with questing blocks and stuff like that. Like I said, we all learn differently. We are all different in how we play. Even some little things of how you blade, like when you blade yourself, or when you really decide that it's finally time to start putting feints up or traps or setting up your gambits. We all play a little differently. And it's best to take your school of focus, whichever school you decide to play, if it's Death, if it's something else, and really attune it to how you want to play that school. Now, there are some very tough ways to go about playing certain schools that may not work. Obviously, trying to be a tank as a Storm, in all practices you could do something like that. It just isn't that practical because of the fact that Storm has very low health. That may not be a school you want to play a tank as, right? But once again, play how you want. And that's why I think Death has the most creativity. You can be a tank, you can be a hitter, you can be a support. You can really fit all these roles as a Death school, whereas some just can fit only certain specific ones. And like I said, it's a game. We're all having fun in the same game. Some of us just need a little bit more help in trying to understand stuff about the game to help us enjoy it more. And that's what this coaching is about. This is what the Death Masterclass was for. So, yeah, Finn, we're done. Congratulations, you have made it to the end, and you have officially gotten through all 6 chapters of the Death Masterclass. Hopefully you did learn something from this, because I had a great time setting up the slides, and really, every video afterwards, after talking about it, I've really enjoyed, and it always puts a smile on my face after doing these, because they are very fun to make. I really enjoyed making them, and I truly do think at the end of the day that we will, that you will have a better experience after learning some of these fundamentals and understanding a lot more game knowledge about the dev school that maybe some other people have not gotten to. And it might just help you when you get to the later stages of your questing journey and leveling journey to get this little bit of information in, because all the information that helps can make a difference in the end. So, thank you guys so much for sticking out and having a good, coming here, watching the whole thing. If you watched all 6 chapters, thank you so much for, wanting to start your journey in really truly learning how to play the deaf school to the most, to probably some of the highest limits. Because yes, a lot of with an MMO being so big and so long, and you have 170 levels of content to go through, it may seem big and scary to some and time consuming. But with the right understanding and the right fundamentals and the right, just game knowledge, you can really tone it down. You can really cut that questing time, a lot shorter than you may think, because of how optimized you can be with it. Because the more you optimize it, the quicker you go. The quicker you go, the better off you can, the more knowledge you can retain. And the better knowledge you can retain, the more knowledge you have, the better off you can do at continuing to quest, improve, and just become a better player of the game over time. So yeah, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for supporting the Death Masterclass. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I got nothing else left. So we'll do some other teaching stuff later down the line. I'll create some new slides to go over. So yeah, that being said, I thank you guys once again. And I will see you guys on the flip side.